Major Bludd is back for revenge against the woman who took his eye, the Baroness. Now the Baroness must decide whether protecting herself means staying with G.I. Joe. She and Cover Girl find themselves hunted while on what was supposed to be a relaxing getaway in Paris. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, G.I. Joe, issue 8 in the Energon Universe. Alarms blare in the pit, the secret headquarters of G.I. Joe. Cover Girl and Risk sneak down a hallway knowing they are getting closer to finding the Baroness. Risk says Baroness is not getting away from us as Cover Girl replies, we should split up. Unbeknownst to them, the Baroness is hiding in the rafters above. Cover Girl says there are no exits in this section of the pit. Go down that corridor and loop around. We'll trap her. As Cover Girl draws her weapon, the Baroness easily sneaks up behind her, dodges around a surprise attack, delivers a swift roundhouse kick and a leg sweep, then shoots her in the chest with a paintball gun. As the Baroness stands over Cover Girl, she says, you're dead, Cover Girl. Cover Girl replies, so are you. Baroness then says, excuse me, as the Baroness is suddenly hit with a paintball right on her star. Risk adds, you stop to pose, Baroness, always a mistake. It's revealed that this was all a training exercise. Over the speaker, a voice says, training exercise complete. Risk says, you fell for a little splitting up rouge, but Baroness disagrees. I did no such thing. Duke walks in and says, Risk is right, Baroness. You should have known Cover Girl was just bait to draw you out. Your head isn't fully in this. Stalker adds, the moves were good, though. I loved you hiding in the ceiling. The Baroness replies, this is a waste of my time, Duke. How do these games help us? Duke responds, the fight we have ahead of us is not a game. Anastasia, we really got our asses handed to us at Mars Industries, and we're lucky we escaped. He claps his hand and says, okay, everybody, let's do it again. Start from the top. 2 versus 2 this time. Stalker, you're teaming with Baroness. Cover Girl groans. Again? Duke, come on. We've been running these training exercises all morning. Duke replies firmly, and you're going to do it again and again. We need to be ready for Cobra. At Cobra headquarters, Destro and Cobra Commander discuss the recent events involving alien robots in Seattle. The commander even shares vague details about his own past encounters with the machines. Both agree Cobra is not ready to intervene in the robots' conflict. Destro proposes sending Mercer to Seattle to recover any useful pieces of technology, but Cobra Command has his sights set on something bigger, acquiring an intact specimen. Together, they watch footage of the brutal battle between Bruticus and Devastator from Transformers issue 18. Cobra Commander then reveals that he once had possession of a damaged robot, but no longer knows where it is. What the Cobra Commander doesn't realize is that Megatron has already freed himself from Cobra La during the Transformers segment of the Energon Universe 2024 special and has since reclaimed control of the Decepticons in Transformers issue 20. Meanwhile, Clutch returns to the pit with Hound. Although the Autobot is eager to explore more of Earth, Clutch insists on keeping him hidden, worried about what might happen if the other Joes discover him. Clutch is suddenly startled by the unexpected appearance of Duke, who questions him about the new car. Nervously, Clutch claims it's just his latest pet project. Duke senses that something isn't quite right, but chalks it up to Clutch being shaken after his encounter with Cobra. He offers Clutch some time off to recover. This annoys the Baroness as she isn't permitted to leave the pit. She asks Duke for 48 hours of leave, and Duke reluctantly agrees. When the Baroness arrives at her private plane later, however, she learns that her leave will not be unsupervised. Cover Girl is tagging along. Although the Baroness insists she doesn't need a babysitter, Cover Girl reveals she agrees with her. The Joes need some rest and relaxation. Arriving in Paris, Courtney is excited and asks Baroness what she wants to do first, but the Baroness has already given her chaperone the slip. The Baroness zooms through the Parisian streets on a motorcycle until she arrives at a cafe where the waiter is already expecting her. Cover Girl arrives minutes later, having placed a tracker in the Baroness' boot back on the plane. A mysterious stalker is watching the Baroness for Major Bludd. The stalker says, I found her, Major Bludd. Major Bludd responds, perfect timing. I'm putting the final touches on a poem I've written for her. I call it An Eye for an Eye. Major Bludd is shown writing the poem referencing his well-known love of poetry from the Marvel, a real American hero series. Cover Girl says to the Baroness, if you just want to escape and go on the run, fine, just do it then. I don't care. I get a free trip out of it either way. I'll go back to Duke and explain that you did exactly what everyone expected you to do, that you were predictable. The Baroness replies, is it too much to ask for a little privacy? Cover Girl shoots back, for what? Fine, look across the street. Try to be discreet if you can manage that. The Baroness reveals that the real reason she asked for time away was to see her parents, who are dining at another restaurant across the street to celebrate their anniversary. However, when Courtney suggests going over to see them, Anastasia refuses, not wanting to spoil their evening. We got our first glimpse of the Baroness' parents in Duke issue 3, when Duke filled clutch in her history. As a wanted war criminal, the Baroness feels she would only disappoint them, especially when they seem to be having such a great time. CoverGirl says parents can be like that. They ask questions because they want to know us and be part of our lives, but it can feel like a lot sometimes. When I was a kid, my parents wanted me to be a model. That was the only future they saw for me. I was good at it, damn good, but it wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted. I found something I was good at, and not everyone gets that, you know? Especially not my parents. It's my life, not theirs. Right, Baroness? The Baroness feels the connection and quietly says, please call me Anastasia. Just then, suddenly, a core breaks the moment. A flock of falcons descends on the cafe, pecking and scratching at the customers before turning their attention to CoverGirl and Baroness. More and more falcons are coming, screeching down, attacking the customers. It's an unbelievable sight. The chaotic scene with falcons attacking multiple civilians in the streets evokes a similar vibe to Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, as people run for cover, some rushing inside, others fleeing into the streets. The Baroness says, I'll take care of the people here, but you must make sure my parents are safe. They cannot see me. Hundreds of falcons are swarming in, but they seem to ignore the other patrons and civilians, targeting only the Baroness and Cover Girl. One falcon claws down Cover Girl's back, causing her to cry out in pain. The Baroness fights back with a knife, slashing at the birds, but one quickly cuts her hand. Meanwhile, the mystery man who was sent by Major Bludd watches from a nearby rooftop and says, hello, Baroness. They are stopped by the arrival of the man controlling the birds, Raptor. The avian adversary delivers a message to the Baroness. My name is Raptor. Major Bludd demands your audience. Raptor is a character who originated in the 1987 line of a real American hero toys. His appearance here is based on his G.I. Joe classified series figure. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, G.I. Joe issue 9 in the Energon Universe. Next.